That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have a connection to Atlantic League. That interview was in the off season this past year. Matt hosts like a baseball clinic to benefit the kids in Newtown, where he's from. He's from the Connecticut area. So then I usually go to his clinic every year to meet some of the players and interview them. That's also where I did Joe Panic a couple of years ago. But I just went over this year. It's really close to my house where he does the clinic. So just went over and speak with Matt. And he's a great guy, and I really enjoyed talking to him.
Chin-Ming Wang played for the Blue Crabs last year. As I mentioned, he's been around for a while. He's doing all right with the Royals. High ERA, but just plays in the DL. What did you have to talk about Chin-Ming Wang with, and what's his journey been like? You know, he's been on the disabled list. He's been out of baseball for a few years. What is his story like?
Yeah, it was interesting when Chin-Ming Wang came last year. Obviously, big-time pitcher with the Yankees. I definitely grew up watching him as a Red Sox fan. I would see those Red Sox-Yankee games and Chin-Ming Wang pitching. But, I think last year he was with the Braves at spring training. Actually, that was when I first met him. I was with the Braves earlier that year. Ended up getting released from Gwinnett, the AAA affiliate. Decided to come to the Atlantic League. Didn't last long. I think he only made like 3 starts, but I happened to have a start in Bridgeport, which I was fortunate to see that. But I know he's had some injury problems before in the past, so I guess he was hoping the Atlantic League would help him get back to the major leagues, and it's really worked out for him. But when I saw him again last year, it was really special after seeing him earlier that year in March and then reconnecting with him in the Atlantic League. And if you actually watch that interview, some of the interviews in Chinese, which we did, so that was the first time I've ever done an interview in a different language. Yeah. And we talked a lot after the interview, too. He's just a really good guy, and I'm stoked to see him back in the major leagues now. And I think he's done well for the Royals so far, and hopefully they'll continue to have success with the Royals.
Yeah, 6-0 with a 4.22 ERA this year, but on the DL with right biceps tendonitis. The Royals are trying to make the playoffs in the MLB right now. They started off the year not great as the defending World Series champions, but right now they're 3 back of Baltimore for the second wild card. Season's not over yet, so Chin-Ming Wang, if he can stay healthy, get back with disabled, helps them with bullpen depth. Should be interesting to see.
Stephen Drew, one of Kevin's favorite players, he started in the Atlantic League as well. What can you tell us about him? Do you know if he had what made him develop into a major league player? Did it start? We know he played in the Atlantic League. What kind of success?
A while back, about 10 years ago, he played in the Atlantic League.
Yeah.
So what kind of a success did he have there? Because obviously from the Atlantic League or any independent league to professional baseball is a really big jump. So what did he do in the Atlantic League that made people want to see what he could do in professional ball?
Yeah. Well, Stephen Drew, he began his professional career with the Camden River Sharks. They're unfortunately not a team in the Atlantic League anymore. But I believe, and I think him and Max Scherzer have a similar story. I believe it's Max Scherzer. Before they were going to get drafted, or after the draft or something, they decided to play like a year in independent ball. And that's what Stephen Drew did for Camden before, I think, getting drafted or signing with a team like, I think, Arizona. But I know he was a really, really good player in the league. Unfortunately, I never got to see him. But
this was a while back. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a while back. But I know one of the Somerset Patriots beat writers, Mike Ashmore, he saw Stephen Drew play in the Atlantic League and said you could just see he was a special player and a big league player. So, but yeah, like I said, I don't have too much for you. Never got to see him, but it's pretty cool to see big names like that, like Stephen Drew. He's a World Series champion with the Red Sox, obviously, and it's cool that he has a connection to the Atlantic League.
He's one of my favorite players. I enjoyed Stephen Drew at his time in 2013. We've talked a lot about Stephen Drew on the program with the development of Xander Bogaerts and who should stay, who should go. But let's talk about another guy that's been mentioned a lot on Sunrise Sports, especially this past month during the trade deadline. Rich Hill. He's from Milton, Massachusetts, 36 years old. Was warming up and practicing with the Milton American Legion team last year, signed with the Long Island Ducks. A few months later, he's with the Pawtucket Red Sox. September comes, Red Sox call him up. He's arguably their best pitcher for the rest of the month of September. Rich Hill was for the Boston Red Sox. Now with the Oakland A's, he was 9-3 with a 2.25 ERA. Dealt with some oblique issues and blister issues, still dealing with the blister. But did you follow Rich Hill's journey, really? It was a quick journey in the Atlantic League. Wasn't really there for a long time. But what can you tell us about, as a 36-year-old player, sort of having this reincarnation into the MLB?
Yeah, I think last year when he was with the Long Island Ducks, he only made like 2 starts for them, and one of them was against Bridgeport, and I'm pretty sure he no-hit them for 6 innings or something like that, 7 innings. But that's a pretty remarkable story right there. Being a reliever his whole career, and then actually starting the year as a reliever with the Nationals AAA affiliate Syracuse.
Yes.
And then come to the Atlantic League, starting for the first time in, I'm sure, years, having the success he did there, getting signed quickly by the Red Sox. And, like you mentioned, like a month later, he's up in September. He's the best pitcher for the Red Sox. So I guess his curveball is obviously really impressive. And, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story right there for Rich Hill to see the success he's having now in the Major Leagues. And just, a year ago, he's playing, against the Bridgeport Bluefish with the Long Island Ducks. So a pretty remarkable story.
Yeah, Rich Hill has definitely had a great year, but like Kevin said, he's battled some injuries this year. And is that something that he had to battle through in the Atlantic League? His injury history just followed him wherever he's gone, or has that just been kind of a recent thing in Major League Baseball?
That's a tough question because he's only, as Tyler said, 2 starts. So,
but those 2 starts, was that because of injury, or was he just not there for that long because he had better options somewhere else?
No, I'm pretty sure when he was with last year, when he was with the Nationals, he they just didn't have room for him anymore, so they gave him his release, and then like you mentioned, he's working out with the North American Legion team, and he's probably looking for somewhere to play. Got the opportunity to start with Long Island, and showed that he could be an effective starter. I'm pretty sure he went at least 7 innings in both his starts, his 2 starts with Long Island. So
yeah.
I don't think his injury thing last year, which gave him an opportunity to be successful and show the type of pitcher he is now in the Major League.
Yeah, the Nationals had a tough offseason. They gave away a couple of 2 pieces that really helped the Red Sox down the stretch. First, we mentioned Rich Hill. They got rid of him at Syracuse at their spring training. And then in March of 2015, they traded this unknown catcher named Sandy Leon to the Red Sox, who made his mark last year, didn't really get off to a good start, was designated for assignment, I think, twice by the Red Sox, and then once Swihart was sent down and got hurt, and Vasquez couldn't hit the ball, was Ryan Hannigan, and Sandy Leon for the Red Sox. And now Sandy Leon is the primary catcher for the Red Sox. He's probably one of their hottest hitters. So the Nationals definitely having an interesting dilemma there. I mean, they have a good team, but could have been better with Rich Hill and Sandy Leon, and who would have thought that? Tyler, you're from Bridgeport, so where do you fall in the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry?
I am a Red Sox fan.
Good man.
Yeah, right. My dad's from Massachusetts, Springfield area, and he grew up on, breathing and living in a Red Sox nation. So he took me to some games when I was little, and I just fell in love with the team from there. And I went to the World Series in 2013, Game 6 when they clinched. So that was one of the best nights ever to see the Red Sox win the World Series.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely thanks to my dad. So if he's listening, shout out to you, Dad. Definitely big thanks to him for getting me, started liking baseball and then the Red Sox. So definitely Red Sox over Yankees. Can't stand the pinstripes.
Yeah, neither can we. But the Yankees, talk about the Royals, the Yankees are making a postseason push too. Can you repeat? What'd you say, Patrick?
I think the Yankees are going to make the playoffs,
I think it'd be the Tigers, to be honest with you.
Really?
We got about 2 minutes remaining on Sunrise Sports.
They're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
No, that's true. Tyler, we wanted to ask you one question that's really taken the nation by storm. It's not a baseball question. It's about Colin Kaepernick. Have you heard what's been going on with Colin Kaepernick?
Yes, I have.
What is your take on this?
That's it. Colin Kaepernick right now, he's been bothering me a little bit. To not stand up for the pleasure, standing for the national anthem. When you're standing for the national anthem, you're honoring the people that served and fought for this country to give you the opportunity to even be on this media platform right now, like Colin Kaepernick is on in NFL, But we're not standing for the national anthem to pledge to the government or anything like that. It's for the people that pay their dues, and fortunately, some made a lot of sacrifices. So I don't think what Colin Kaepernick right now is doing, but he's getting a ton of attention for it. I'm sure he's loving it.
Drafted 43rd round, the 2009 draft by the Cubs. I just found that out.
I just don't understand personally what Colin Kaepernick is doing. I mean, you can only do it if you have a name for yourself. Like, this guy was a starting quarterback, is getting $19 million a year to sit on the bench and do nothing. I mean, I don't think anybody really has a lot of respect for this guy. I mean, he's kind of like Pablo Sandoval of the Red Sox when you think about it, getting all this money to basically sit there and do nothing. I mean, it's one thing.
Well, he did go in the clubhouse and was on Instagram.
That's true. But it's one thing. It's one thing if he's actually a respectable player, but he's not. I just don't understand what he's thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Spencer and I have debated Colin Kaepernick a lot over the past year. Nothing over these personal issues. It's been more of his play. I found Colin Kaepernick to be a very overrated quarterback. 5-11 last year. I expect them to do even worse this year. But we'll have to see what the NFL season holds. Tyler, our time has run out on Sunrise Sports. We really appreciate you calling in and giving us your insights on the Atlantic League and some of the MLB players and their journeys up to the big leagues. Really appreciate it, and we'll hope to have you back on soon.
All right, no problem, guys. Anytime. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Patrick, always good to see you. Always good to have you on. Very